And here are the Berenstain Bears, Stan and Jan Berenstain. And the real Easter eggs. To celebrate new life at Easter, eggs and bunnies come in handy, but to some cubs, they think it's just about candy. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. How about that, said Sister. I got 23 Valentines at school today. 7 signed with names, 8 Guess Who's, and 8 WSAKs. Brother smiled. He knew that there were 24 cubs in Sister's class, and Teacher Jane made every cub give every other cub a Valentine. But Sister was enjoying her Valentines so much that she didn't say anything. Besides, he'd gotten quite a few himself. I just love holidays, said Sister. I wish every day was a holiday. Then you could get stuff like every day. Oh, said Mama, who'd been listening, is all that holidays mean to you? Getting stuff? Sure, said Sister. You get turkey, stuffing, pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving, presents on Christmas, Valentine's and Valentine's Day. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that, said Mama, is that holidays are about much more. Thanksgiving is about being thankful. Christmas is about goodwill and peace on earth, and Valentine's Day is about love and friendship. What do you think about that, dear Papa? Well, here, where'd Sister go? He said, looking around. She went into the kitchen with her brother. She'd gone into the kitchen to look at the calendar on the wall. She was looking ahead for holidays. She looked at the rest of February. There weren't any more big holidays in February. Then she looked at March. She didn't see any big holidays for March either. But then she looked at April, and right there in April was a really big holiday. Easter. Yum, she thought. Coconut eggs and jelly beans, chocolate bunnies. Yum and double yum. That night, Sister fell asleep while visions of jelly beans and chocolate bunnies danced in her head. But it was still winter, and when she woke up the next morning, she forgot about Easter and spring because there was a new blanket of snow covering the earth. Wonderful snow to sled on and make forts out of and make angel wings. But Mother Nature hadn't forgotten, and Brother and Sister and their friends sledded and made forts, angel wings. She was getting ready for a whole new season. As the winter winds died down and the sun began to ride higher in the sky, signs of spring began to appear. The big icicles of winter dropped from roofs and stuck like swords in the last of the melting snow. Robins began looking for places to build their nests. Blue and yellow crocuses peeped through the softening earth. And it wasn't long before reminders of Easter began to appear in supermarkets, too, and on television. But there was a big billboard in the town square that got Brother and Sister really excited about Easter. This is what it said. Coming soon, the giant Beartown Easter egg hunt. Don't miss it. All cubs welcome. Prizes, prizes, prizes. Delicious chocolate Easter eggs, jelly beans, jelly beans, jelly beans. Chocolate, every cub wins a prize. All the prizes on display in the window of the Beartown General Store. Look, said Brother. It says prizes are on display in the window at the Beartown General Store. And were they ever? There were more jelly beans than you could ever count. Sugar-trimmed, dark chocolate, coconut-filled eggs with sugar roses and violets on them. Life-size milk chocolate bunnies. One chocolate bunny as big as Brother Bear himself. Happy Easter indeed. This was going to be the biggest, best, most delicious Easter ever. Brother and Sister were so excited they ran all the way home. Mama was in her treehouse front yard. Sister, said Brother, you tell Mama about the big Easter egg hunt while I go find Papa and tell him. Mama, Mama, sputtered Sister. She was so excited and out of breath she could hardly talk. Now, my dear, said Mama, I know that you want to tell me something very exciting, but I'm sure it can wait until after you catch your breath. Meanwhile, I've got some exciting things to show you. But Mama, protested Sister. Just look here, said Mama, kneeling down. See these little blue and yellow flowers? They're from the crocus bulbs I planted this fall. They've been sleeping under the snow all winter. Now they're first to push up through the earth and greet spring. Aren't they lovely? Yes, Mama, they're nice, said Sister, but Mother and I were just out at the town square, and guess what? But Mama didn't quite hear Sister because she had walked across the yard, was looking closely at a scratchy-looking bush. It didn't look like much to Sister. This is a forsythia, said Mama. It doesn't look much now, but come the first warm sunny day, it will burst with thousands of yellow flowers. Surely you remember it from last spring, my dear. Sister did, sort of, and it was pretty, but it didn't begin to compare with those sugar roses and violets and those chocolate-covered Easter eggs and those zillions of brightly colored jelly beans. That's when Papa and Brother came running around the house. Papa was just as excited as Brother and Sister. How about that, said Papa. How about what, said Mama. Didn't Sister tell you, said Papa. There's going to be a big Easter egg hunt on the town square, and you should hear about the prizes. More jelly beans than you could ever count. Papa, said Brother. All kinds of chocolate, eh? Continued Papa. Papa, repeated Brother, tugging on Papa's pant leg. Son, I forgot to tell you, said Brother. The Easter egg hunt is just for cubs. Just for cubs, said Papa. That's right, said Brother. Oh, said Papa. He's more than a little bit disappointed. Papa was still crazy about jelly beans, especially the black ones. Mama sighed. She looked at Papa and the cubs. She was a little disappointed, too. The day of the Easter egg hunt dawned bright and early. Sister, Brother, and dozens of their friends were on the town square waiting for Mayor Honeypot to give the signal for the hunt to begin. They had their bags and baskets of every shape to gather the eggs. Brother and Sister were especially well prepared. They each had a big basket, and that better to carry the eggs that they would find. When the mayor gave the signal, it was helter-skelter, gather, gather, here an egg, there an egg, everywhere an egg, egg. But Brother and Sister had a plan. Instead of hunting where the other cubs were, they quickly moved to the woods at the edge of the square. Here's a red one, here's a pink one, here's a green one, shouted Sister and Brother as they popped their eggs into the basket. And here's an orange one, and a yellow one, and a lavender one, cried Brother as he popped them into the basket. A little while later, Brother noticed that Sister had become very quiet. He turned and saw her standing ever so closely as he looked into the bushes. And here, said Sister, is a soft, hushed voice that Brother could hardly hear, are 5 tiny blue eggs in a nest deep in the bushes. Ever so carefully and quietly, Brother moved into the bushes and looked over his sister's shoulder to see real Easter eggs. And together they watched as one by one, each of the tiny blue eggs cracked open, and tiny, scraggly, wet baby robins struggled to climb out. From time to time, the mother or father robin came into the nest with food, worms, and insects. They took turns putting the food in the open, wide beaks of their baby birds. Brother and Sister watched for a long time. They hardly moved. It was as if they were under a spell. It was the most wonderful, amazing thing they had ever seen. You know, they missed most of the Easter egg hunt, but since every cub got a prize, they got some goodies for the eggs they'd already gathered. A few chocolate eggs, but mostly jelly beans, which they shared with Papa. They gave him the black ones. Many of Brother and Sister's friends won the really big prizes, but it was okay. The sugar-trimmed chocolate eggs, the giant chocolate bunny, would not only be soon gone, but they would leave quite a few tummy aches behind. Brother and Sister never forgot those baby birds, and the wonder of Easter and its message of a new life that would stay with them forever.